Welcome, everyone. It's a fabulous day, and I'll start by saying, go Jays, go. And of course, if you're going to the Jays, you're going on the go, correct? So let's make that straight. Listen, everybody, it's great to have you, and it is a fabulous day here in my riding, Hamilton East Stony Creek. And I want to welcome and thank Premier Ford and Minister Sarkaria and Mr. Oosterhoff and PA Cirillo, and of course, Mayor Horwath, for being here to celebrate an important milestone for our community. Under the leadership of Premier Ford and Minister Sarkaria, our government is making historic investments in transit, including right here in Hamilton. These investments are transforming our city's transit infrastructure and will make daily commutes between for thousands of residents, helping them save time and money so they can spend more time at home with their family and friends. Thanks to our Premier and our dedicated team at Queen's Park, we will keep delivering results for the City of Hamilton. And now, without further ado, it's a great pleasure to introduce the Mayor of Hamilton, Andrea Horwath. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Minister, for the introduction. I'm very, very proud to be here, and I'm grateful to be here with Premier Ford, Minister Sarkaria, Minister Lumsden, the MPPs Cirillo and Oosterhoff. We have a council colleague who represents this area. Matt Francis is with us as well. I just really want to say how much I appreciate everyone being here from the provincial government, and not just for being here, but for making sure that you're doing everything you can to advance investments that strengthen Hamilton and connect our region. Your commitment to working in partnership with our city helps ensure Hamiltonians and visitors to our community have the opportunities and access they deserve to be able to explore our great city. So I am really excited with today's announcement. Confederation GO Station represents another important step in expanding transit access across Hamilton and, as I said, throughout the region. For Hamiltonians, of course, it means shorter commutes, as Minister Lumsden said, more affordable and sustainable travel options, better connects people to work, to school, to healthcare, and here in Hamilton with some of our recent investments downtown, connects people to fun as well. For visitors, it's easier access to our city, to discover our cultural spaces, our trails, our waterfront, our restaurants, and our businesses. Everything that makes Hamilton such a vibrant place. You know, building infrastructure like this is important. It's important for connections. It expands our transportation links, as you know, and again, supporting local business, encouraging further investment from the private sector, in creating new opportunities for people across Toronto, the GTHA, and even into our neighborhood area in terms of the Niagara region. So this connectivity will forever change who we are here in Hamilton, and it is such an important investment. So once again, I want to thank our partners at Metrolinx and the Province of Ontario for working together with the City of Hamilton to make this possible. With continued collaboration, we're strengthening our transit networks and ensuring that Hamilton continues to grow. Hamilton is on the move, and Confederation GO will help our residents, our visitors, and our economy move and grow with it. Thanks all very much. I'm now very pleased to ask Minister Sarkaria to take over the microphone.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Mayor Horwath, for that warm introduction and for everything that you are doing for the people of Hamilton. It's great to be here with all of you alongside Premier Doug Ford, Minister Lumsden, MPP Cirillo, Minister Oosterhoff, Michael Lindsay, who I also want to recognize as the CEO of Metrolinx, and our board chair, Nick Simone, who is also here today as well. Public transit keeps our province moving, and that's why we're investing $70 billion in the largest transit expansion in Canadian history, while supporting thousands of good-paying construction jobs, including generational projects right across Hamilton. While we're building more tracks and more stations for the future, we're also improving surface service for commuters today. Last year, we added more than 300 weekly train trips to GO's busiest routes, including here in Hamilton, as well as Niagara, Durham, and Kitchener-Waterloo, our largest service expansion in more than a decade. We've also expanded GO bus service to more communities. For the first time, Ontario now provides GO transit service to First Nations, with routes serving Six Nations of the Grand River and Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. And we're putting more money back where it belongs, in people's pockets. Ontario's One Fare program means Hamilton's transit riders now pay only one fare to transport between GO and GTA transit agencies, saving commuters on average $1,600 each year. And as of March, veterans and members of the Canadian Armed Forces can now ride GO Transit for free. We're getting Ontarians where they need to go faster, and we're making life more affordable. Hamilton and the Niagara region are among the fastest growing areas in Ontario. These investments will not only make it faster and easier for people in Hamilton and Niagara region to get where they're going, but drive economic growth throughout the region, protecting Ontario in the face of economic uncertainty. We are building Ontario, and today we are marking a milestone. And with that, I'll turn it over to Premier Doug Ford. Thank you.
Well, first of all, good morning, everyone. It's great to start off the week here in Hamilton, better known as the Hammer, alongside, as you've just heard from Minister Sarkaria, and then the hometown boy, Minister Lumsden. Anything you need, you give him a call, especially for Hamilton, and he'll jump through hoops for you. Minister Oosterhoff, great job down in Niagara. And Parliamentary Assistant Sorello, same thing, hometown gal, along with another hometown gal, Mayor Horvath. And thank you, Mayor, for everything you do. And I also want to acknowledge our councillor, Francis. Thank you for everything that you do in the community. I've walked a mile in your shoes, and it's a door-to-door scenario when you're a councillor, if you're mayor as well. We have Michael Lindsay, as you heard, the CEO of Metrolinx, along with the great chair, Nick Simone. And Michael, in a few minutes, I'm going to ask you to come up and give the numbers to the people. The number of the people that are riding the GO, it's at record high right now. We have to keep it going. But before I begin, I want to take a moment to acknowledge Jim Bradley, who was a longtime MPP, minister, and regional chair next door in Niagara, who passed away last week. Jim was a dedicated public servant, as a teacher and a politician, and I want to send my sincere condolences on behalf of our family and the entire province to his family and loved ones. I want to begin today by talking about our government's plan to protect Ontario. We're working to build the most competitive, most resilient, and self-reliant economy in the G7, so we can protect our communities and our workers. Here in Hamilton, near the U.S. border, in a community with a long history of manufacturing and industry, I know workers and business owners are worried about the impacts of President Trump's tariffs. I want to let you all know that our government is doing everything we can to protect the people of Ontario, protect their jobs, protect their communities. Last month, I was here in Hamilton with Minister Piccini to announce that we're investing $70 million in training and job centers for workers who have been hit by tariffs. We're also increasing our investment in the Skills Development Fund to $2.5 billion. And we're investing more than $200 billion through our plan to build Ontario, which is the largest in Canadian history. As we deliver on this plan, we're going to buy Ontario and buy Canadian whenever and wherever possible, so that Ontario tax dollars are supporting Ontario workers. That includes steel workers here in Hamilton, as well as in our forestry sector, manufacturing sector, agriculture sector, and anywhere else we can support Ontario workers. We're investing $4 billion in housing enabling infrastructure, including nearly $10 million here in Hamilton to support 24,000 new homes. And we're investing $30 billion across Ontario for new highways, roads, bridges, and including Highway 413. Down the QEW in Niagara, we're twinning the Garden City Skyway to make sure this critical piece of highway is in good repair and keep up with increased demand. And Minister of Transportation, I think the mayor wants to upload a couple highways, and we need to support the mayor. So we'll have a conversation later. We're also investing $70 billion in the largest transit expansion in North America. In Hamilton, work is progressing on our 17-stop Hamilton LRT. Once in service, the LRT will connect 50,000 daily commuters and open up thousands of new job and housing opportunities for people living in Hamilton. We also recently finished construction ahead of schedule at the West Harbour GO station, which is already saving 250,000 commuters, roughly 15 minutes per round trip. And today, I'm thrilled to announce the next step in our plan to get Hamilton even more connected to fast, reliable, and affordable transit, with the completion of construction of the new Confederation GO station, which is... The station will begin serving GO Rail riders on October 27th, adding almost 500,000 more rides annually to the GO Rail network and connecting existing bus users to the Lakeshore West route. Under Minister Sarkaria's leadership, train service is also increasing across the GO network to meet demand. In fact, it's increasing above pre-pandemic levels for the first time, with increased service on the Lakeshore East, Lakeshore West, Barrie and Stouffville lines. Infrastructure like this new station and investments like the ones we're making across our province will help protect Ontario, keep workers on the job, and keep our economy going. Together, we're going to build Ontario's incredible potential so we can support workers and their families and build a province that can stand up to anything no matter what comes our way. I want to say thank you and may God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you so much. Now, Michael, before we start the question and answer, maybe we'll have the CEO, Michael Lindsay, come up and just talk about what we see on the volume of passengers.
Thank you, Premier. Good afternoon, everyone. I shared a stat with the Premier before this announcement that I think is the one that is in his mind. I'm delighted to say, and by the way, this accomplishment is a function of the various people you see around you right now that are wearing the high visibility kits and the green GO jackets. The staff at Metrolinx, our partners in the construction center, our partners in municipalities. A couple of weeks ago, we had our second best day ever in terms of total volume on the GO network. Almost 330,000 people rode GO and UpX services that day. It was second only to the Raptors Championship Parade in 2019. And then the day immediately after that, we broke that record again. So our base level of activity on the GO and UpX services right now is essentially equal to that Raptors Championship day, if you remember it. And I'll say for myself that personally, I hope that we're going to break even that record with another championship parade very, very soon for the Toronto Blue Jays. But it's just, sir, thank you for giving me the opportunity. It's an opportunity for me to say thank you to the talented team that has grown this service, has made it relevant not only for commuters, but also for people trying to find entertainment. And as a final thought, sir, I would just say thank you to the riders and the residents of the region. We know that it's not easy to offer this service while simultaneously trying to build the future. And the patience that you have with us for major track closures and other disruptions, we really, really appreciate. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you.
We will now take
I always say we're fortunate to have them, but I know Michael always says I can't do it without the frontline folks. So anyone that works at GO, we appreciate your service, your hard work and dedication, and we're very, very grateful. Okay, we're ready to go.
Yeah, we'll now take questions from the media. Media present can line up behind me and ask their questions through the microphone. As a friendly reminder, the format is one question, one follow-up. Please state your name and your outlet before your question.
Hi, Premier Al Sweeney from CHCH
Hi,
News
Al.
here in Hamilton.
How are you?
Good, thanks. How are you doing? Good to see you here.
Good to see you.
With this new GO station, presumably connecting to the West Harbour station, people can get downtown pretty easily. Is it going to be redundant to have the LRT now going ahead?
Well, I'm going to pass that over to the Minister of Transportation.
Thank you for the question. I think the LRT serves a very important purpose in much of getting Hamiltonians to where they need to go within the city. For us, it's about a connected transit across the province, whether it's in Hamilton, whether it's in Peel region, whether it's in downtown Toronto. So the Hamilton LRT definitely fits the profile for what we want to accomplish with a connected transit system across the province. The GO network is also just as important, and I think both of these working together will improve accessibility to transit, but also the quality of life. People getting from downtown Toronto all the way up here or all the way up to Niagara for whether it's a weekend trip or whether it's for work, and then being easily able to access our LRT in Hamilton to get to where they need to go to. And these are all about ensuring that we have a connected system that will support each other, integrate well across the province, and make it that much more accessible.
Thanks. So one follow-up for you, Premier.
Yes.
Still on transportation with the mayor there. Have you guys resolved your differences over speed cameras? The last I heard, Hamilton was going ahead with the idea.
Well, let me tell you something. We have a phenomenal relationship, 1,000 times better than when the mayor was in the opposition benches at Queen's Park. But, the reality is we're going to agree to disagree on a few things, but you got to look at all the things that we do agree on. And it's probably, 90% of making sure that we create more opportunities economically. We always work together in attracting new businesses, working together on the LRT, working together on other infrastructure projects, helping with the homeless here and trying to clean up the streets. So, yes, we'll agree to disagree on that. But again, there's so many things that we work together very, very well on, especially economics.
Good day, Premier. Matthew Van Dongen from the Hamilton Spectator. Thanks for taking
Matthew.
the time.
Thank you.
I'm going to jump in on that question as well in a different way. The mayor had said to me that she thought that Hamilton's use of speed cameras was pretty responsible. We only have 4 in action. The revenue goes back into road safety programs, just like you were talking about earlier. So I was wondering, when your legislation comes forward, will there be an opportunity for carve-outs for responsible use?
Yeah, well, what we're going to do is make sure that we give places like Hamilton the money to build the infrastructure to actually slow down the traffic, and we look forward to working with the mayor and her team to tell us where they want the infrastructure put together. I was asking the mayor about crime as well, because I want to start introducing cameras on crime if approved by residents, because the home invasions, and I was asking the mayor about the car thefts here and the home invasions. Certain areas around Ontario are just getting hammered. York region, certain parts of Etobicoke, Peel region, and up in Halton as well, Durham. So we're going to be working on that, and I'm wondering if we can use those cameras to identify stolen cars as well. And with the red light cameras, I have no problem with red light cameras. I think they're essential because they cause serious accidents. Someone's racing through a red light. But our goal is to continue working with the municipalities to help them build the infrastructure that is needed.
Thanks. As a follow-up to your comments earlier, is the province in talks with Hamilton about the idea of uploading parkways, or are you open to that sort of conversation?
After we had a little get-together this morning, the mayor and I, that's one of the asks, and we'll seriously consider it. Because it's a real burden financially on Hamilton. And we've done it for other jurisdictions, and I just believe it's only fair to do it here. I'm not saying we're doing it. I'm just saying we're going to have a good discussion on it. The Alexandra Parkway and what was the other one, Mayor?
Red Hill.
Red Hill. So we'll look at it. And that allows the mayor and council to reallocate those funds into other areas that might be more productive. So we're always open to helping our cities.
Hi, Premier. This is Sarah Piesker from CBC News.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi. I'm wondering what your reaction is to the federal government's announcement to list the Bishnoi gang as a terrorist entity, and what more can be done to protect communities.
Okay, you're going to have to bring me up to date on this Bush. What are they called?
Bishnoi gang.
Yeah, and what are they? Is that band that goes around?
They're a gang that has roots in India and I believe Punjab and has activity going on in the GTA.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not familiar with it. I'd have to look into it. I couldn't answer that properly, but if that's what the feds are doing, that's what the feds are doing. They have more intelligence than I do.
And I have another more local question related to
Yes.
the station. What are the bus connections that will come here? Where can you get to from this station on a bus?
Okay, that's over to one of you folks there.
So if I could just begin by talking about the rail service that's going to happen at this station. It's 13 weekday trips, 15 weekend trips. So links to downtown, links to Niagara. Essentially every train going in both directions is going to stop at this station. And as Minister Sarkaria said, the bus links are mostly to Lakeshore West sites to help provide flexibility in respective service to residents as well. We're going to lay in a new service schedule for October, one for November. By the way, that sees a surge, further surge in GO services, new peak day trips on Lakeshore East and West, and we'll confirm full and final details as we do that. But the rough map in your head is really expanded rail services here with supplemental bus services to get people to the Lakeshore West line.
Hello, I'm Karen Nickerson. I'm from Village Media.
Yes.
Hello. GO Transit is expanding down Dundas Street into Waterdown and Hamilton through the GO BRT. Are there any further plans to expand GO Transit into the west end of the city, specifically for the smaller communities like Dundas and Waterdown?
Well, first of all, I got to apologize. I know I'm handing it over, but I'm just handing it over because they're experts and they know the routes a lot better than I do. So once again, gentlemen, you want to come up and...
I would say we're looking all the time at the possibility of expansion, including as a function of our 2051 Regional Transportation Plan. I was with the mayor and her team this morning. We had, I thought, Mayor, a very good meeting talking about all of these potential options and configurations with the LRT as the spine, which we're excited. Early works are already underway. So I'd say watch this space. This is a real-time and dynamic conversation that continues between us and two levels of government.
And Hamilton has begun its municipal budget talks and has repeatedly called for the province to offer more housing support and to address downloading onto property taxpayers in Hamilton. What have those discussions been like between the city and the province?
Well, the mayor and I just had a great discussion about it, and the mayor gave me a binder and I gave her 2 pages full of items that we've supported Hamilton, but I always have an open mind. I always want to be there for cities, no matter if it's Hamilton or Toronto or the other cities, but I'm just looking at this. $27.8 million through homeless prevention program was increased by 18%. Now, maybe 18% wasn't enough, but we're always there to sit down and chat because we have to work collaboratively with the cities and the towns, and that's what our government's all about, is trying to work together. And if we can find extra money, we'll support them. If we can't, then we'll come up with a plan for maybe the next budget, opposed to the fall economic statement that's coming out.
Hi, Premier. Laura Stone, Globe and Mail.
Hi, Laura.
Hello. I wanted to follow up on some of your comments you made during the press conference about maybe expanding cameras in cities to stop crime. Are you talking about like repurposing the speed cameras for another purpose? And can you expand on your vision here?
So I had a good meeting with Mayor Del Duca. It was yesterday, and I got wind that we had a fund. I think it was about a $2 million fund, and a few of the towns have picked up on it. He was one of them, through our MPP, Don Gallagher Murphy. And what these cameras do, they pick up a license plate, and if it's a stolen car, it gets immediately reported to the police, the local police. I had the conversation. It was a promptu meeting with our community. I don't know, about 60, 70 people came out. There's been 4 home invasions in our small community over the last 10 days. And there's an opportunity only if the community wants it, right? If you don't want cameras for security reasons, I know a lot of people have home cameras as well, then we won't put it in. We'll only put those cameras in if the city or the town wants it in, and then the community has to give a green light as well. But I think they're superb. Our biggest thing on these home invasions is you get the front shot of the car, but you never get their license plates. And then we can tell if they're stolen or not. A lot of them are stolen, but people, I can tell you folks, it's become the number one issue is this crime. It's always the economy and healthcare, but crime is right up there. In certain areas like York, it is the number one issue, and they're just done with it. So that's why we're encouraging the federal government to put meaningful bail reform, look at the Young Offenders Act, because what's happening with the young offenders, 16 and 17-year-old is being told by a 20-year-old, you take this gun and nothing's going to happen to you. Unfortunately, that's the case. So there has to be accountability for these criminals. And then this mandatory sentences. Like if you break into a home and a gun, and I went to the house yesterday, like it traumatizes people. I can't even begin to tell you how traumatized people are when they get their house broken in by 4 masked men with a gun pointing it to their heads. Like, yeah, PTSD. Like you can't think. People want to move out of their homes. It terrorizing. So these criminals, we got to catch them, throw them in jail for years, not let them out the next day, because that's actually what's happening in a lot of cases. But someone's going to get one person already got killed, and it's unfortunate. But we have to clean up the streets, like big time. We need to clean up the streets, literally the streets, and the old broken window theory. These punks going in, walking out of grocery stores with bags full of food, going into LCBO, walking out brazen, no mask, no nothing. They need to go to jail too. There has to be consequences, folks. We live in the greatest sub-sovereign nation in the world, Ontario, and it starts with making sure people feel safe. And right now, people aren't feeling safe.
Can I just, before I follow up on my next topic, just to clarify, so you're thinking of maybe expanding this camera system within cities who want it?
That's right.
Like you're going to talk to them about it? And
yeah, we'll put it out there, and anyone who wants it. They're relatively, I'm just getting the figures off Mayor Del Duca yesterday, they're about 15,000. But the technology is like, you can pick up any cars that are stolen, and anyone that's doing a break and enter, they have to exit one area within a community. But again, that's up to the community. If you want it, I think it's very beneficial. If you don't, that's fine. I know the community in our community, they want them. Okay. They want them like yesterday.
And just on another topic, on this Project Ontario group, they're having a meeting tomorrow night. They're pushing for smaller government. They say you don't have the will to kind of do what it takes to really cut down. They're also looking for more private healthcare option, different options for independent schools. You've always said you're open to ideas from various political parties. Are you open to any of their ideas?
I don't even know who these guys are. They sound like a bunch of radical rights. Folks, I'm not in favor of the radical left and the radical right. This government of Ontario or in Canada, we're prudent fiscal managers, first of all. I'm tough on crime. I'm a prudent fiscal manager. I don't know who these yahoos are. It sounds like some radical right group, probably tied to maybe a federal party or something. I don't have a clue.
Like the federal conservative party?
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying who knows who they're tied to. And I really don't care, to be honest with you. I don't even know who these guys are. I'm going to focus on our agenda, protecting the people, protecting the economy, creating more jobs, building infrastructure, building the healthcare system. That's what I'm focused on.
This will be the last reporter.
Good morning, Premier. It's Craig Wadman from the CTV News.
Hey, Craig.
All right, President Trump is again vowing to put a 100% tariff on movies made outside the U.S. Your thoughts, sir?
Well, I disagree with anything that guy says. He drives me crazy. First of all, we built the movie business up to roughly about $3 billion. Our goal is to build it up to $5 billion. So we're going to continue growing, continue investing in the film industry. The film industry is very strong here. And anyways, do you know what we have to do, folks? I've said it over and over again. Forget about President Trump. The guy drives me crazy. Let's focus on what we can do. How can we create the climate and the conditions and the environment for companies to come in and invest in our greatest people, smartest people in the entire world? Let's create that environment. Let's start putting money back into people's pockets. Put money back into companies. Make it the most competitive area anywhere in the entire world. And our number one selling feature is the people. We have the most talented people in the world, the best quality life in the world, right here in Ontario. So we'll focus on what we can do, and we'll start diversifying our trading partners around the world. And as for Trump's Trump. We gotta refocus on what we can do.
And then just one question for the Transportation Minister, if I may,
Yes.
Sarah. I'll have you step forward if you don't mind. This is a bit of a mouthful, but this is a question about prosecuting drivers. So we've noticed that the withdrawal rate in court statistics for offenses like dooring has gone way up from about 6% in 2021 to about 57% last year. Now, does this dovetail with the strategy to remove automated ticketing to make it easier on drivers who break road rules? So give me 1 second. I've got to run back to my camera to change the height.
Well, well, for us, look, when it comes to law and order, as the Premier has stated before, we take a very hardline position on that. When it comes to ticketing, we work very closely with our law enforcement agencies across the province. Just last legislative session, we tabled multiple pieces of legislation that made it Ontario one of the toughest jurisdictions, whether it's on stunt driving, whether it's on impaired driving. All of those offenses were increased in fines and penalties to the extent possible. And so we will work with our Attorney General and his office to continue to ensure that from a prosecution perspective that charges that are laid are seen through and that we work with our law enforcement partners as well to keep not only our roads safe but criminals off our streets and ensure the safety of individuals that are driving. Thank you.
And that concludes our media questions.
Okay, well, folks, thank you so much. Thank the folks of Hamilton. You know what I heard? I heard there's a good fish and chip store called Hutch's. And I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but they told me it's the best fish and chips, has a little ice cream. So I'm making a little deviation. I'm going down to Hutch's because, as you can see, I'm in good shape and I need a little bit of fish and chips and a little bit of ice cream. So away we go. Off to Hutch's. Okay, thank you. God bless you.